What's up, y'all? It's Mike in the building. I wanted to go over calculating your net worth, which I'm sure everyone probably has a pretty good idea of how to do it. I've been using it as kind of like a tool to measure my progress between paying down debt and seeing how my investments are doing. And I was doing what I was calling a rough net worth calculation for a while. I wasn't including, excuse me, I wasn't including my car, and I wasn't including like some personal property. Excuse me, like electronics and like my music equipment, instruments, things like that. Um, so doing that, I think, made it a little more accurate. I pulled, um, I just pulled up like one of the first results when you type in net worth calculation. I put a link in this spreadsheet. I'm going to share this in the description below. Um, I just made it up real quick, but it's really the same as anything else you would find anywhere else. There might be more categories, like you could get really specific, and then different people have different um, assets and liabilities that might not be listed here. So just add them. Excuse me. But before we jump in, I just want to say thank you to everyone that helped me push past my 2021 goal for YouTube. All I wanted to do was, well, originally it was 100 subscribers, and I was probably getting like a subscriber every like month. So I kind of revised that a little bit to 50, and a lot of people really helped me out by either subbing themselves and or sharing the posts that I made about it, and that was really awesome. I blew past it probably, I think, like immediately, and I'm sitting somewhere at like in the 60s or something, which doesn't really matter now. I have new goals set up for next year that I want to hit, but I like bringing fun content with like magic and like some of the music stuff I do. Obviously, it's fun to just kind of let people sit in on the live sessions that me and Mark do with music. And then I like doing the finance stuff to just kind of help anybody along that's considering becoming a little more organized with it and trying to make financial progress. So with all that said, thank you so much for helping me out with that. But let's jump into this real quick. So I have this all filled out, but I have it kind of blanked out, and I forget where my stuff is, so it might take me a second. So I'm just going to go down the list of this and just kind of just talk with you guys about what I've got going on, and how this could be beneficial. So I don't have any cash. I never have. Well, I actually do, but that's it's not even worth putting on here. It's not really a lot. Same goes here. I actually do have a number here, I think. So let's make this black. So I usually run really low. I don't think I even have. I don't have a savings account just because the rates are terrible. I think it's. I mean, even if inflation is 1%, over a span of a year, you're losing money in your savings account. It's no good. I mean, like an emergency fund, I guess is understandable if you just keep it kind of like don't keep too much money in there. Keep enough for an emergency fund. I don't like savings accounts, but checking, I always run really low. I keep enough in there for bills, and then everything else I usually invest. Things have been a little different the past month or two, and I'll get into that later. I don't have any life insurance or annuities. I don't think I have anything else in this category. So that does it for cash and like really liquid assets. Real estate. So I have my house. Let's have this pop up. So this is his estimate. I mean, who knows how accurate this is? But it's the best number I have at the moment. I plan on actually having an appraisal done sometime in the new year, hopefully January, maybe February. I know that the value of my house has gone up substantially since I bought it. I just don't know if 159 is super high or super low. I have no clue. So Yeah, I'm using this estimate just for now. You could also just maybe do like what you purchased it for, depending on when you purchased the house. I mean, if you purchased it 5 years ago, or even like a year or 2 years ago, probably like 2 years ago, you're definitely up on the value of your house, like for sure. Um, my car, which is actually what I started incorporating. I wasn't incorporating that before. I also don't know if I was actually incorporating the equity I have in my house as an asset for some reason. I was only calculating the mortgage on the liability side when I was doing my quote unquote rough net worth calculation. So it's obviously drastically different now. Um, the car, this is Kelly Blue Book, and I have some damage on the body of the car. So it gives you some options to just kind of input the condition of your vehicle. It doesn't affect. It's not mechanically damaged in any way. It still functions the way that you would expect a car to function without any problems. But aesthetically, it's beat up. So that changed this value. I think it's a 2011 Ford Fusion with some aesthetic damage. So that's what Kelly Blue Book said for that vehicle with that. So personal property. This was another thing that I didn't incorporate before. I did a super rough thing. I mean, I have the guitar I bought for like 1,200, a bass that I traded, so I don't even know what the value of that is. I have a new interface I bought. I don't even remember. It's anywhere between 500 and 1,500. I don't even remember that. Computers a couple grand, and then I have like TVs and other random stuff. I feel like 4,000 is probably reasonable. Just ballpark that. I mean, unless you want to look up, the larger, more expensive items that you have and calculate that. Investments, I don't have any certificates of deposit, no bonds, mutual funds. I do have stocks. So most of my stocks are in Robinhood. Some in Webull, which actually I didn't even calculate, but I think it's like $300. Lost a lot on what stock was that? Pharmaceutical stock. Damn, I can't remember what that was. Whatever, that's irrelevant. So, if you remember, I recently did a video called "The Humble Road to a $10,000 Portfolio." Well, like I said, it shot down. It actually shot up after that and went to like 11.5 or something like that. And then the recent pain in the market brought me way down below this. I think this was maybe up. This is all as of December 1st, so a couple days ago. But I'll get more into that, I guess. No, I'll talk about that now real quick. So yeah, I mean, a lot of this has been pretty stagnant. Same here. One of my goals, which I'm going to be doing a goals video soon too, going over my goals from 2021 and what I have planned for 2022. But one of my goals was to avoid debt for Christmas gifts and things like that. Don't put it on a credit card and all that. So extra money that would normally be going to these investments, my Robinhood portfolio and the cryptocurrency, is unfortunately just getting set aside for Christmas gifts. So that's been really boring. It's been really painful because everything's down, and I like to buy when everything is really, really cheap. So it kind of sucks. I don't think I have any other investments there. Retirement accounts. I have a 401k. This lumps a lot of things together. This is more like my Fidelity account, which is mostly made up of my 401k. There's also a stock option through work and an HSA. I think that's it. So the HSA is made up mostly of index funds that track the S&P. There's a high dividend index fund and one share of a firm, which actually was killing it and then recently. So this is total assets. Then liability side. So this is all the detractors. So mortgage, this is what's left on the house. I don't have any car loans. I paid off my student loans last year, which was awesome. Again, I'm avoiding credit card debt. Usually around Christmas, I'll hold a balance, but this year I'm trying to break that habit. The only thing I kind of have here is a home improvement loan, sort of. My dad and I were working on the bathroom renovation together, and he would buy a lot of the he bought all of the materials basically, and we didn't do the tub installation ourselves, so we paid someone to do that, but he paid the guy. He tried to tell me that it was going to be an early Christmas present, and I was just like, nah, I'm paying that off. So I owe my dad like $400, so I don't even think it was really worth putting there. Yeah, so taxes owed. I feel like this, I guess, would be more like if you own your own business. I'm not really sure. The website I pulled this information from wasn't super clear. I mean, it didn't get very detailed. So I'm assuming maybe that's what that is, or yeah, I feel like that's what that would be. Least is tuition. That doesn't apply to me. So total is just my mortgage. So I have these set to calculate. I think I just have them hidden right now. So that's assets. So when you plug this stuff in, if you use this spreadsheet, it'll calculate these for you. So this will show you it just equals that cell. And then these are literally here just to show you what the calculation is, if you're not familiar with it. Total liabilities, and then net worth will calculate it for you too. So it's just this number minus your liabilities, your assets minus your liabilities. So it's kind of a pivot point for me right now, because this is my first month calculating it this way. So I don't have any data from the previous month calculated this way. So it kind of sucks, because the point that I'm trying to get across with the net worth thing is it's a way for you to measure your progress, and you can see, okay, this is my number for December. What was my number for November? Did it go up or down? So obviously, if you have a lot of investments, the market can dictate a lot of that. If not, and you have things that are a little less volatile, investing while paying down debt makes huge swings. So you can even kind of experiment a little too, and really start to see some of these strategies play out, where people tell you, no, you need to pay your debt down first. No, you should be investing as soon as possible. And both strategies can have a place. Same thing with paying down debt. There's strategies even within that, where you have the snowball and avalanche methods. If you're not familiar with them, there's millions of YouTube videos on them. Just basically ordering how you're paying off your debt, which interest, ordering your debt by their interest rates. So avalanche, I think, is paying off the largest one first, and vice versa for the snowball. So you could kind of fool around with different strategies and see how it affects your net worth. I mean, again, that would be easier without volatile investments, because if you have a month like we did in September, or even very recent weeks, I mean, it might be really hard to kind of calculate and get useful information from that. But you can use this in a number of ways. I did include, so here's the link that I got the information from, and this is how I was calculating it before. I don't have the breakdown. It's basically what is above this, just less categories. Like I was mentioning, I didn't include my car or the equity in my house for some reason. I think it was just because I started calculating it one way and I wanted to stay consistent. I mean, that's the important thing with this. As long as you're consistent, you'll actually get useful information. If you just start changing what you're inputting every month, it's not going to do anything for you, So I think that maybe that's why once I started, I didn't change, and that's why this month is a little rough. But the last change I had that I pulled from my calendar, which is where I usually write this stuff down, was a change of $6,000, which is a 15% swing in the positive direction. I believe November to December, or no, the one prior to that was negative. Um, and I think that had a lot to do with September just being a really brutal month for the stock market, and I think crypto probably. So yeah, this is going to be one of the goals on my goal list for 2022. I forget what I made the goal. I think it was like to increase my net worth by $30,000 or something like that. Just because I don't really know what kind of goal to set. I mean, with the rough net worth thing, I was negative, I think, until this year. So if you have a negative net worth, don't worry about it. I mean, you're looking at this calculation with just a mortgage. I don't have car loans. I didn't have student loans as of last year. I was in credit card debt for a little while, and then I started changing my habits with that. So, I mean, if you're negative, it's not a big deal. I would just keep track of it and just see, if as long as you're making improvement. I mean, even if it's small, at least you can know you're kind of going in the right direction. But again, with heavy investment, and these aren't really heavy, but investments in more volatile things can change that, and you could even bounce positive and negative depending on where you're sitting. So yeah, I hope this helps. I'm going to include this in the description of the video. Thanks again for anyone that shared the posts and anyone that subscribed. If you have anything to add to this, let me know. Let me know if you have any questions. Let me know if it's useful. Let me know if you like content like this, because I want to do more like finance things. This is like my favorite thing to do, unfortunately. So, yeah, hope you guys are doing good, and hope that your holiday is good also. Don't spend too much money on Christmas gifts. See ya.